Chris Mills, surfstrengthcoach.com, some core training. Cool? Lots of the surf stuff. There's all sorts of gimmicky core training. Here's a few basic things. I'll show you some progressions, regressions, some decent stuff for you to be working on. So, start. Jackknives. There's a lot of jackknife stuff. Movement. Show you a couple variations. To begin with, you need to be able to hold a proper push-up or plank position. So it's not ass out, it's stay tight, controlled. This is a neutral spine posture. This is not a neutral spine posture, so you are not supposed to hold a plank like that or a jackknife. You need to control the front of the core more. So you need to be able to do a proper push-up or plank push-up. Cool? So one variation, straps, feet up. So we don't sag through the stomach, tight, strong, tight shoulders, pull. Don't roll into the low back. We're trying to at first segment core control with hip movement. After you get comfortable with those, then you can start going into more of a full kind of movement position. So we start just moving the hip joint, not moving the back. As you get better with them, you can start getting, that's more replicating a pop-up movement. But first you need to make sure you've got the core control here, and then we can start coming in to those. You can do the same thing with a ball. So again, first, just hip. And as you get better, you can start coming in a bit more with it. Full pikes. But it all starts with that first basic plank position. So that's a bit more of a dynamic movement. And then something we call a horse stance. Really good for anybody with back issues or before we get into high explosive dynamic core work. Even for high level guys, I'll still have them do variations of a horse stance. So again, proper spinal alignment. Take that into opposite hand foot. If you're good with holds, you can start doing small circles with the legs, small movement with the arm. But the posture's not here. It's not excessively arched. You're controlling the stomach, controlling the core, controlling the spine. If you get quite good at those, you can start coming into, kind of gets a little circusy, but for really high level folks that the basic floor horse stance is too easy, you can start coming on to ball horse stance. So that opposite open, it's actually putting rotational torque through the body and through the spine. And so this, all the little core, the intrinsic core, the inner unit, all the little spinal stabilizers are having to work to control that spine and position. So again, just really nice, neutral. It's not here. You shouldn't be shaking. Everything's totally linear, straight out. 20-second holds or so, bit of foot wiggles, controlled through there. So that hits a couple aspects of the core. And then surfers, this whole posterior chain, glutes, hamstrings, all the back extensors, shoulder muscles, gotta hit those as well. And so kind of a cobra variation is what I'll use often. Squeeze the glutes when you paddle in the surf. Always kind of tighten the glutes up and then come up. If it's loose glutes and you're just using all back, you can cause a lot of kind of shear force through the spine. So, glutes, I come into this position, I call it just a W right here, where I'm kind of pulling the shoulder blades together and down just a bit. Glutes. So notice I could come all the way up here, but I'm just trying to get extension just through this part of the spine. Not using just low back. Trying to get extension here, that thoracic spine. One arm, don't have the head here, have the chin tucked. One arm reaches to a Y position. Hold. Long tempo holds. Think of how long you're in this posture while surfing. So you could do this movement up to 2-3 minutes. If you need to, take a rest in between. You can start doing both arms. And you can also use a ball. You can plant your feet against a wall, so it gives you kind of a fulcrum to press into the floor, lift up the chest. So again, those several movements, you're hitting anterior core control, rotational core control, posterior chain core control, several core movements. It's good for you, build some durability around it. Crunches, not really much use for them. If you will, only if you're like a figure competitor, get into some crunches. Other than that, there's a lot more functional ways to train your core. Use them. Spread the word. Surfstrengthcoach.com. If there's something you want to see, flick me an email. Train your core efficiently. If you're a surfer, you need to move. Train core movements that help reinforce your movement. That's it.